Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wa mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajmain. The honorable ones to the Aceh Global Conference 2018 and all the participants in this conference. On the occasion, it be great honor for me to present right here in front of you all to give a speak about the issues that are relevant to discuss with social issue under the title Understanding a New Social Movement as a form of awareness and mass collective action. In the context of social movement, new media with all its advantage is not only a means of synchronous and asynchronous communication for a social movement, but also for mobilization and other political practice, particularly collective action on social networking sites has not been aimed of changing the social order and power relation in society. However, when view of the perspective, there is a possible ideological purpose behind the use of ICT in the collective action. And considering that social networking page have a specific design that allow messages to be created in the certain way to attract public attention. Collective action is the foreigner of a social movement. The question is whether it is true that ICT contribute to collective awareness and action which is now a new framework in the development of information technology. This qualitative research wants to apply who actually a collective action in new media work with the basis of existing literature studies in can be argued that collective action cannot to be the same as social movement, but social movement are contained in the collective action itself. Almost all cases of collective action that occur in Indonesia are politically carved and temporary. This allows the collectivity to be dynamic. New media then allegedly became a stimulus as well as mean to create awareness and collective action of the society. The development of new media technology cannot be separated from the development of computers and network that allow one to connect and serve world virtual. New discoveries in the field of technological science seem to accidentally change how people use technology and how they interact in the social world. One of these important discoveries in when the discovery of the internet that can connect and unique use with other realities to the hair of computers. An important element that results from the development of the internet shows the internet as a global communication network that houses virtual communities in the cyberspace. A social movement does not appear suddenly, but is forming as a reaction to a game in a social and political context. A social movement has a long historical roots and is able to sustainably change every regime by developing a repertoire of movement, as well as being a driver and regain change itself. In addition to the emphasis on the element of the social and political attention of a social movement. Social movements have characteristics in the long term on interactive aspect of management, targeting power holders, political action, general purpose, claim for specific identities, alignments and program, utilizing political entrepreneur for the durability, scale and effectiveness of the movement, and utilizing modeling, communication, collaboration, and coalition strategies to adopt movement on different settings. The social movements are a sub-study in collective action. Collective action can only be referred to as part of the social movement is if action it is part of a repertory to fight and support the regime that is carried out by activists and organizational networks and has a purpose in changing social and political order. According to some other fundamental difference between the two is that an action is called a social movement because of this purpose, but in terms of the formation of identity and method both are similar. Thus, collective action can develop into a social movement by improving the quality of its goal and network scale. In terms of methods, digital collective action also use social movement methods that have been affected by ICT as an impact of the presence of information and communication technology. Social movements are not only in the variety of communication media that are utilized, but in the structure of the movement itself, namely not only in the form of social movement with physical networks, but also social movement with virtual networks and bots. Thus, digital social movement refer to physical and virtual social movement that use ICT, especially the internet, to perform communicative such of information dissemination and downloading, recruitment, mobilization, exposure of opinions, and poll discussion, facilitating contact between supporting service and networking between internal and external movement, building, alteration, lobbying, campaigning. The identity reflected in the second group of action can be read as citizens who care about the creation of welfare and social justice. An identity on an individuality network rather than a digital social group or movement to know our campaign directly what is their big goal, and robot impact will be felt by all citizens, but can take the form of action collective action strikes on the networks on individuality for support of something individually, because ICT make it easy for individuals to form personal relationship that allow people to join more and more diverse political communities, political communities than in the material world. Although the action of digital collective solidarity has not more a more complex awareness of welfare and the social justice in the public mind. Both actions have methods that are also used in digital social movement. The internet is seen as an alternative or counterproductive public domain that can facilitate communicative interaction among citizens and provide greater opportunities for the emergence of political participation. In the context of social movement, the internet with all its advantage compared to traditional media does not only becomes synchronous and asynchronous communication for a social movement, but also for mobilization and other political practice. The internet provides an opportunity for anyone to be part of the movement as long as it has the resources, access, and capacity to use the internet. Before the advent of the internet, mass media was important for social movement because social movement needed media as a tool to express protest and help influence the formation of public opinion and policy makers. Communication in social movement is directed to two parties, namely internal parties of movements, such as between participants, and external participants of movements, such as observers or opposition, where this communication determines the quality of management and is achieved whether or not the purpose of the social movement. Meanwhile, not only to show the existence of the movement if the target on social movement is on quantitative mobilization, mass media is need for help mobilize as many people as possible because of the greater attention and public support is expected to impress and influence the decision makers who use the media as sources of information and communication tools. Social movement will be present before the public and rules talk mass media coverage of the repertoire of action that is expected to be of new value to the mass media. However broadcast or not, how the media framing of the action will appear in the mass media. However, media reaction to the action signal the success or failure of a movement. That is, whether they are accepted or rejected by the public will be sent through mass media. Traditional media reactions are difficult to sustain good publicity by a digital social movement does not necessarily get positive framing from traditional mass media. In fact, it is still possible that the mass media does not expose the message, message that the digital social movement want to convey, but instead emphasizes em, emphasizes the sensational aspect of the movement. The presence of new media respond to the uncertainty of the traditional media by becoming a new public domain where web page, video sharing, social networking page, which we can be produced, do not have to go through the editing process by editor and can be created with simple convention. The internet easily becomes a virtual domain for the core of media managed by citizen communities and social communication without building a paid network paid movement activities movement activists can communicate talk web blogs which later become part of activing in the bloggers bloggers share bloggers maybe the development of information technology and technology has produced change in community collective action. The internet, which is part of the development, is now able to be an alternative way to raise public interest. The internet as one of the development is communication technology is as an alternative or rival public domain that can facilitate communicative interaction among citizens and provide greater opportunities for political participation. There is a general assumption that the implementation of information and communication technology is determined to what action technology is able to open access to various information services and networks. The more service and information network available, the more people will implement the technology itself. So from that various form the concurrence and collective action emerge. I hope this speech that I delivered today will be useful for you all. Thank you so much for your attention. The last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.